Open Hearts and Minds with Richard Waterbourne.
Where the angels fly.
So, right away to my guest here in studio tonight, Samantha Donbavand. Samantha, you were, just before we came on air, you were sharing a few details about yourself and how you came to be doing this very unusual and very interesting work, this therapeutic work. Where did all that start for you? Because it's been quite a personal journey for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been a personal journey, but also I feel an inspirational one for those people who perhaps are listening to us this evening. And thank you, and good evening to you, Richard. My background started as a holistic health practitioner, and I intuitively would be aware that holistically people were holding illnesses within. I trained as a holistic health practitioner and was seeing an awful lot of clients in a very, very, very busy salon. From that time, something happened to me, and I was a victim and given a disability which was diagnosed with no cure. This disability was called chronic complex regional pain syndrome, type 2, and it's a chronic pain condition.
And did anything happen to precipitate the chronic pain condition?
Yes, there was. It was an attack that happened to me.
A physical attack?
It was a physical attack, yeah. There was somebody who came into the salon who became quite obsessed with me, obsessed with the work that I did, really. And yeah, it was an attack, it was sustained, and it resulted in me having a chronic condition and a disability with no cure.
So how did that obviously not a very pleasant experience,
not at
quite
all,
the opposite.
No.
But it's actually led you to the very beautiful work that you do now. What happened in between? What was the first sort of step for you?
The first step was trying to get assistance and help. I was highly sensitive to most orthodox medicine and found that it didn't help me in any way, shape or form. I used all my holistic health skills as a therapist and kind of started to research within myself and trying to find different ways where I could reduce the chronic pain that I was suffering. During this time I was using a wheelchair. The disability had gone full body, and I was also using a stair lift, and there was really no hope at that time for me. Spiritually guided a little, I suppose, I experienced hypnotherapy, and it immediately reduced my pain significantly. This was inspirational for me, obviously, and I thought, I can train in this, I can help others and raise awareness and give inspiration to other people who are also suffering from chronic pain as well. I then trained with regressionacademy.com, trained in hypnotherapy, and then I experienced my first past life regression, and that was absolutely life-changing for me, and that was the start of my spiritual journey.
Just going back a moment, because obviously I want to hear about that, what happened. But when you had that attack, did you have a near-death experience?
I did, yes, I did, Richard, yes.
Can
yes.
you? This is, as listeners will know, this is something of almost like a trademark experience of people that suddenly find themselves almost kind of catapulted into a whole different life path. What actually happened for you in the near-death experience? What can you remember about it? And tell us
I knew at one point I was very close to death throughout the attack, and I remember thinking and feeling I have to do something. There was some type of energy pull. I remember looking down at my body to a certain extent and seeing myself there, but not actually feeling there. And I know from a lot of my experience... So
you're looking down from outside your body?
Yes, yeah. And I know from a lot of clients' experiences now, when I do regression therapy, they've had similar experiences as well. So, yeah, it was a very profound, very inspirational experience looking back, but I understood it. It felt natural. It felt as natural as breathing. It wasn't anything to fear, having this awareness and knowledge yeah, it was quite an experience.
You mentioned an energy pull. Which way were you being pulled, and what did that feel like? Were you being pulled back or being pulled out?
Many directions. In a way, I felt quite, not fragmented, but I was being pulled in many different ways. And as the pull was heightening, it was as if I had to make a decision, if that makes any sense, during that time.
That decision being to stay or to leave, presumably?
Yeah, I feel that now, yes. Yes, definitely.
But at the time, you didn't realise that was what it was?
No. I remember thinking, I have to stay here for my 2 daughters. That was the main thing. I have to be alive for my 2 daughters. The attack was very, very severe. It's a Section 18 and 20 assault, which was close to manslaughter. So I was aware that that was it, and it was the pull of my daughters that brought me down. Definitely.
Can you remember actually coming back into your body?
Yes, I can actually, yeah. And it felt a little bit like a jolt, a sudden jolt, a very deep heaviness. Yes.
Mm. Okay, so let's pick up the story again, where you'd had your first past life regression, and that again was a major opening for you.
Yes, it was part of the training course with Andy Tomlinson, part of the Regression Academy, and it was inspirational. My first past life, it related to the pain in my arms, and as we know with regression work, it can help reduce pain symptoms. The story for me, I was in an orphanage and I was looking after many children, and there was a fire that broke out. And I couldn't save the children in that past life, and a lot of the guilt was in this life, was in the arms. So dealing with that...
Were your arms in that past life? Were your arms injured?
They were burnt. They were burnt in that, yes.
So it left what I call an imprint.
Energetic imprint, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So once that had heightened, I immediately felt the relief. It felt like I had new blood coursing through. I could move my hands again. My hands felt re-energised. Circulation was improved immediately, as was the temperature scale on the arms. So that was the start of my journey. Absolutely profound learnings. Yeah.
And you went on and you did more training with the institute.
Yeah. After that experience, it just... everything fell into place. It was like the missing piece of a jigsaw. All my life I'd felt that I'd been here before, that I'd lived a life before, and going through the past life and the current life memories that I was storing enabled me to heal myself within, and in turn evoke that awareness for others who were dealing with chronic pain, depression, insomnia and deep core issues. And yeah, I started to train then as a trainer with the Regression Academy.
And we'll hear what happened next when we come back from this commercial break. Don't go away.
Watcher, the real enjoyment of jazz with me, Mike Wynn, is right here on Talk Radio Europe. The music will delight jazz fans, and for those of you who aren't into jazz, please give it a try, as I know you'll love it. The show goes out at 10 p.m. Saturdays and is repeated 7 p.m. Sundays. I look forward to your company. The real enjoyment of jazz with me, Mike Wynn, on FM across southern Spain, online, on demand, and on your mobile worldwide.
Be a part of the Global Expat Network. Join the millions of people using angloinfo.com every day. AngloInfo has a truly global reach with a local focus, working within each community to provide information and support through a directory of thousands of local English-speaking businesses, as well as clear, concise, and detailed information pages. Free local classifieds, discussions, news, weather, a What's On guide, and much, much more. All the information you need. angloinfo.com.
Talk Radio Europe. We are your voice in Spain. This is your voice in Spain. Talk Radio Europe. advertising and sponsor packages, contact the Talk Radio Europe Sales Department on 952 799 953 or click on the Sales tab at talkradioeurope.com. On Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain. TRE, Talk Radio Europe. Open Hearts and Minds with Richard Waterborne.
Samantha, it might be worth just going back again to tell people that when I asked you that question, you were sharing with us how after this ferocious attack in the clinic where you're working, that you went out of your body, and then you made the decision. You felt your daughter is pulling you back, and you made the decision to come back. And as I asked you the question, if we'd been on television, people could have seen this, but we're not. So as I asked Samantha the question, what did it feel like coming back into your body, she kind of flinched. She cringed as if she'd had a big shock. And we were just talking about that during the break, and I apologise for sort of catching you on the hop there, Samantha. But it makes an interesting point, doesn't it? It makes an interesting point about what it really, the experience of actually as energy beings, as spiritual beings or energy beings, just what it means to actually embody, to be in a physical body, to come in. It's a challenging experience.
It is a challenging experience, especially when you're not familiar with that type of experience, which I wasn't. I'd always been energy sensitive. That means being aware of spiritual energy, and I'm able to channel and do mediumship work. But at that time, I'd kind of thought in my mind process that there was an afterlife, or that there was more, or that maybe we'd had past lives with thoughts of deja vu, etc., that can come through. But the thought of being at that out-of-body, near-death experience is something that happens to an awful lot of people, and I feel needs more awareness, really, of what an energy is and how it can affect us, because we are made of energy. So, yeah, the out-of-body experience for me was profound in the respect that it enabled me to research more, to know that there was more, and that there was more of an awareness and more to the life that we just invariably see.
You also mentioned in the context of that attack that, and I realise this is not easy territory for you to talk about, and I really appreciate your willingness to do it, that there was an element of obsession, and that this is something that you've encountered more than once in your life. Do you think it's, I mean, is it true to say that obsession is a kind of an energy? It's a thought form that we get caught up in from either side, being obsessed or being the object of obsession.
Yes, thank you, Richard. I think the importance of all this is that energy follows thought. And this is something that I always taught with clients, students, other people on training courses as well. And we can be directed from energy from anyone at any time. In respect of the energies that we can encounter, these can be, I don't like to say good or bad, but different energy beings that we talk about. I am able to channel souls that have passed over to the other side, and there has to be an awareness that these souls need to be treated with love. They also need healing too. So I think people who get messages, spiritual guidance, whether it be from simple things, meeting other people who are becoming more aware, this energy, whether it's good or bad, you can counteract it in any way that you want to. I've managed to heal the hurt within, and my soul experiences of obsession, which is a negative energy as we know, and of experiencing chronic pain and a disability in this life has actually been wonderful learnings for me. As you're aware, we're all here